Now coming for the next biggest question. Why do I score low marks? Multiple factors at play. Multiple factors. Now don't think today for yesterday's exam it could have been one factor. For the next week's exam it could have been another factor. The effort I'd need from you is to eliminate all these factors. The first one is lack of concentration. You know the content, you know the fact, avada poyappo 62 63 il kutti. Or when you read it in the first time you believe the answer was A, but you read for the second time you realize the answer was B. The third thing with regards to concentration is keyword is radhichilla. You believed it is different. You thought it was constitutional body instead of statutory body. Clear? Multiple points like this. Multiple points like this which will affect you. How many of you have lost marks like that? Because I forgot to read a word, I didn't understand, or ആദ്യം വായിച്ചപ്പോൾ മനസ്സിലായില്ല. Okay. See, you are losing marks which you deserve to earn. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അർഹതപ്പെട്ട മാർക്കാണ് നിങ്ങൾ നഷ്ടപ്പെടുത്തിയത്. Not only lost 2 marks, but you also got the negative for it. How many questions are you losing? 3, 4, 5? Sometimes even more than that. If you lose 3 questions, do you know how many marks like that you are losing? You are losing 8 marks. 8 marks can make or break your prelims. Yes, 8 marks can make or break your prelims. So therefore, please make sure that concentration is not something that you are losing out. In those 2 hours, you will not lose your concentration. ആ നേരത്ത് പാട്ട് ആലോചിച്ചിട്ടിരിക്കരുത്. You will not remember the movie that you saw two weeks before. അപ്പുറത്തിരിക്കുന്ന ചെക്കൻ്റെ വായി നോക്കരുത്, അപ്പുറത്തിരിക്കുന്ന പെണ്ണിൻ്റെ വായി നോക്കരുത്. അതിനൊക്കെ നമുക്ക് സമയമുണ്ടോ? അതിനൊക്കെ സമയമുണ്ടോ? Go with absolute focus for your exam. And that is not possible unless you start preparing for it right now. ഈ ഇപ്പോൾ എഴുതുന്നത് നിങ്ങളുടെ ടെസ്റ്റ്, ഈ 2 മണിക്കൂർ try to focus and write those tests completely in a focused manner for the 2 hours. Okay? That is the first thing. That's the first thing I need you to eliminate, because these are marks that you deserve and those you are losing out on. Please stop that. You need to overcome that. Okay? First thing. Second thing, how many of you feel like you learnt everything possible? I watched the videos, I read the material once, twice, but the questions are coming from something which I have never read. Okay, so that's what Raghavan was saying. Like you've learnt it, but the question has been asked or framed in such a way that whatever you've learnt, it's asked in a different perspective to what you understood or realized. That is one problem you might be facing. You learnt it, you are familiar with the topic, പക്ഷേ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു സാധനം ഉണ്ടോ എന്ന് ചോദിച്ചാൽ അതെനിക്കറിയില്ല. It was below Hyder Ali. See, in the second Anglo-Mysore war, Hyder Ali lost his life midway through, if I am not mistaken, and Tipu led a fighting retreat back to Mysore. So see, you need to understand. Here you need to apply a little bit of practical knowledge. Come on, in the middle of second war, Hyder Ali lost his life. Someone had to come up. If Tipu was not capable, Tipu would not have become the leader of Mysore or the king of Mysore, Sultan of Mysore. Now, if you are the next leader or the crown prince, obviously they are going to fight in the war. He has to get that experience. Yes, he has to get that experience. For those of you from Kerala, you heard of Shaktan Thambiran? Who is he? Cochin dynasty, powerful king of Cochin. That's why he was known as Shaktan Thambiran, the architect of Thrissur. Now, there's a little bit of history you don't realize, that when Hyder Ali came south, he sought the help of Kochi dynasty against the British, against the European powers. And he called for the Cochin king to come and meet him near Walayar, the borders. But the Cochin king was afraid that if he met Hyder Ali would kill him. So he sent his son, the then young Shaktan Thambiran. Hyder Ali was really angry and he said, I asked for your father and you are the one who came. Hyder Ali should have killed him because it's a great insult. You ask for a king and you get a crown prince. But Shaktan Thambiran was able to convince him like, it's okay, I'll do what is necessary. And by the time the British had attacked Mysore, so Hyder Ali had to go back. That young prince later became Shaktan Thambiran. Okay. So you need to relate it. You need to relate these terms, these figures with history. Apply a little bit of practical knowledge, you will get your answers. So the second reason why you're getting low marks, the first has been you lose focus, you lose concentration. The second has been your inability to create or relate with the topics that you've already learnt. We've already learned so many things. You are not able to connect it in that perspective. You are not able to understand it in a different angle. Yes. See, this is a problem. Sometimes you do overthink and then it would have been a rather simple question. We lose it. So, like Buddha said, middle path. Or like your Amma said, Uppu Pagatinam. Kudialum Prashna, Itilingum Prashna. I suck at cooking. I'm really bad at cooking. I know few of you have heard of the horror stories of what I've eaten. But what you need to realize is, it's very much like cooking. You need to apply to a certain level. You need to apply to a certain level. You need to have a little bit of common sense to a certain level. You don't need to go beyond it. ചിലപ്പോൾ ഉപ്പ് ശരിയാവും പക്ഷെ മുളകിൽ മിസ്സാവും. ചിലപ്പോൾ മുളക് ശരിയാവും ഉപ്പിൽ മിസ്സാവും. ചിലപ്പോൾ ഉപ്പും മുളകും ശരിയാവും വെള്ളം കൂടിപ്പോയി. Different issues will come up when you are learning to cook. But how does one become a good cook? Practice, good ingredients. ഏറ്റവും ബെസ്റ്റ് പാചകക്കാരനാ ബിരിയാണിക്ക് വേണ്ടി റേഷനറി തന്നിട്ട് വല്ല കാര്യമുണ്ടോ? ജീരകശാല തന്നെ വേണം. That is how the logic works. You can be the most intelligent person, but if you can't study or if you are not willing to study, it's pretty useless. You can be intelligent, you are willing to study, but if you are not willing to put in the effort to practice your tests, again it's going to be pretty useless. Okay? So now the situation is you need more practice. And the idea of practice is not just to do these questions, it's to hone your senses. Angudum povan paadilla, ingudum povan paadilla. ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞില്ലേ, you need to be aware, like how well you are learning this. Is my logic right? Are my efforts perfect? It's just to plan that out. കൂടുതൽ അങ്ങോട്ട് പോയാലും ദോഷാണ്, പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്തില്ലെങ്കിലും നഷ്ടമാണ്. So you have to be at that perfect sweet spot when you come for prelims. This is that time. How do you do that? You solve more questions. How do you solve more questions? Go to Telegram, go online. There are so many institutes offering their question papers. Yes, buy them. Has any faculty over here told like you should take only Gallant test series? No. Take Gallant test series. You paid for it. Do it. Apart from that, take more tests. No one will stop you. No one will say like, no, you should not take another test series. No. No one will stop you. Take more tests. Take more tests. See, there is a formula that I have practiced for my prelims. Weekly once, on schedule, on a regular basis, I will take one test on Sunday. Irrespective of whatever is happening, Sunday one test is compulsory. You have Gallant already for that. You don't have to put in any extra effort for it. Just have to get up, get yourself over here, you'll have the test ready for you. Yes? One set of tests is done. The second set of tests, go download some question papers or buy some question papers, take PDF printout. Take the printout. You will not do it in online. Why? If you feel like you do it online, you will get marks, I won't stop you. But ideally, I want you to take the printout because the question paper again is going to be given to your hand. It's going to be an offline question paper. Don't take online tests. Why? In an online test, you choose A, then you feel like, okay, I'll change, I'll put it to B. Yes? You can change it. Can you do that in your OMR? No. Okay. How much time does it take for you to bubble one answer in your OMR sheet? How many seconds? 5 seconds? Can I keep 5 seconds? Is it decent? How many questions are there? 100. 100 into 5? How many minutes is that? 8 minutes if I have to be very specific. Do you bubble your OMR just like that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, right? You take a break in between. So can I say like 10 to 15 minutes goes just for OMR bubbling? Just for OMR bubbling? In online, you don't take that time, right? That's just one click. എവിടെയെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ ക്ലിക്ക് ചെയ്താൽ മതി അത് വീണോളൂ. So if you take your online test for 2 hours, you're committing a big blunder. If you have no other choice, you have COVID, you have to stay at home, you have no other choice but to take an online test, finish that online test in 1.5 hours. Because 10 to 15 minutes will go just for bubbling. If you are giving an offline test, aim for 1 hour 45 minutes. Why do you need to aim for 1 hour 45 minutes? Because when you go for the preliminary exam, the invigilator has no idea about the prelims. The invigilator has no idea about the prelims. The bell will ring, he or she will start trying to open it. And it will be a triple layer sealed packet. Blade തപ്പം ബ്ലേഡ് കാണാനില്ല അപ്പം അപ്പുറത്ത് പോയി ബ്ലേഡ് മേടിച്ചു മുറിച്ചു കിട്ടി അപ്പോൾ അതേ ഒരെണ്ണം കൂടി 3 layers she'll cut in, she'll pull it out and she'll be like, what am I supposed to do with it? Then she'll start counting. Okay. By the time she finishes off distributing it, giving you the OMR and all that stuff, 5 minutes is gone. You will be intensely focused, she'll come with that NN sheet. Mone Fieldy. Then you will be like, oh, okay, fine. Get that number 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to bubble everything perfectly because if you don't bubble it, you lose out on the result. Finish that, you go off. At sharp 2 hours, she'll collect the paper or he will collect the paper. You lost 10-15 minutes in between because of their incompetency. Now you can argue like, how dare you give me 10 minutes, I know my fundamental rights. Come on, you don't have time for that. You don't have the time for arguing. That's why I want you to learn to finish it within 1 hour 45 minutes. You can't use it as an excuse. My faculty collected 5 minutes before. He wasted 5 minutes distributing the paper. This is not an excuse you can give anywhere. Okay? And even if you do go and complain, they'll be like, okay, in the next exam, we'll make sure that everything is perfect. What? CSAT? Okay. Paper on CSAT. So that's an entirely different ball game. So please make sure that you finish your exams within 1 hour 45 minutes. Clear? So aim for that. Your low marks are because of multiple reasons. One is concentration, the second is lack of practice, the third is time management. A time management one angle aanu njan parnja. Lack of practice you can overcome by just solving more and more question papers. This time management issue comes around because you lack speed. How many of you are doing at least 3 reading, 4 reading? Go for 3 plus reading. Go for 3 plus reading. Okay? You need to overcome it. Karanam, the more you can read, the more better you have knowledge. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കൂടുതൽ ആൻസേഴ്സ് ശരിയാക്കാൻ പറ്റും. When you don't have time, you will start guessing answers. ഒരു ഗതിയില്ലാണ്ട് you will start guessing answers. Yes? The more time you have, the more your brain can work. I don't know whether have you seen me take answers from the air? വലിയ കഴിവല്ല. Just sit, think. You have time to think, you can get answers. There was a question, Shramana Parivrajaka, previous year question, right? Considered to be one of the very most difficult questions for those who don't come with history optional. So, Parivrajaka, Shramana and Upasaka. Parivrajaka said priest, Parivrajaka said renunciant and wanderer. Shramana said priest with a high status. Upasaka said followers or lay followers. Which of these are rightly matched? Half of the aspirants left this question. I have zero idea. History is my weakest subject. All you need to do is know good Malayalam. You understand. What does Shramam mean? Shramam, effort, work. Parishrama means hard work. Shramam means work, Parishrama means hard work. So what does Shramana mean? Worker, peasant. What was the option given? Priest with high status. In ancient India, priests used to work. Are they referred to as Shramana? Option 2 is gone, you got your answer. Parivrajaka. For those of you who know Hindi, Pari or Parivar means family. Vrajaka, Vrajikya, Tejikya. You renounce your family. Parivrajaka means renouncing the family. Person who has lost or abandoned the family, who has left the family, who has walked out of the family. Renunciant and wanderer. ഇങ്ങനെ ഫാനൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട്, ലൈറ്റൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട്, മുമ്പിൽ ഞാനുണ്ട്, അടുത്തൊക്കെ എല്ലാവരും ഉണ്ട്. ഇങ്ങനെ ഇരുന്ന് ആലോചിക്കാൻ നല്ല രസമാണ്. അവിടെ സർക്കാർ സ്കൂളിൽ ഫാന് പോലും ഇല്ലാണ്ട് ബെഞ്ച് ഇങ്ങനെ ഇരുന്ന് ആടുമ്പോൾ ആലോചിക്കാൻ കുറച്ച് പാടാം. You need time for that. That's why I'm asking you to improve your speed. When you improve your speed, the more time you have to think. The more time you have, you'll get your answers. The more time you have, you'll get your answers. So start reading better. ഇത് മൂന്നും ചെയ്താൽ ഞാൻ ഗ്യാരണ്ടി പറയാം, നിങ്ങളുടെ മാർക്സ് ഒരു 10 മാർക്കെങ്കിലും കൂടും. 10 മാർക്കെങ്കിലും കൂടും. Why? Because you have more time. You don't make mistakes due to lack of concentration. You don't make mistakes because you are not having different perspective. See, the more questions you solve, the more different perspectives you gather with regards to various points or various topics or various themes. Clear? That is one way you can do it. Okay?